What's up, giants? Alphabeta giants, how are you? This is a new day. This is Saturday, and today we are going to the show. We are going to the showground. We are going to see what people are exhibiting. We are going to see what people are doing there. Well, are we going to learn anything? Maybe lessons from me. Maybe. But we're going to the show. I have been going to the show since I was a kid. So this is another one. I went to one last year. I got a few clips which I'm going to put up. And also yesterday I was there. So all this I'm gonna put together with today's also attendance, and then you guys will see what I've been up to. But nevertheless, as I am there, remember this channel, what we do? We share stories, we share experiences. I'll be telling you more of something that has come up. So sit back, buckle up, let me take up my look. Remember, you see me at the show, this is the look I'll be having. Stay put. Let's go to the show. Let's go to the show. Let's go to the show. So yes, if you're new here, kindly subscribe, share and like. Hope you enjoy the content. You're welcome. So anyway, let's go to the show now. This is yesterday. The main thing I was doing yesterday was actually going to the stands. Yesterday was an educational day, so I was going around, going to all the stands, learning something, collecting contacts on also for my leads. Let's see this particular stand I went to. The guy you see here in a sleeveless jacket is one of the biggest actors. It's called Shimumbi. So for those who don't know, the agricultural show is actually an exhibition mainly for government institutions, but also for private farms and manufacturing farms to showcase what they do. You can learn how they process things. You can learn how they develop products. You can learn the government institutions, how they operate and how they serve you. So it's a nice place to learn. In Kenya, we have the same. So I've been attending in Kenya, and I also happen to come and attend here. Let's go to the police stand.
The Anti-Corruption Commission is at the Lusaka Showground, exhibiting at the 97th Agriculture Information Show. We are located at stand number 860, right next to the Electoral Commission of Zambia and State House stand. Come and take part in the quiz and stand a chance to win various wonderful prizes from Saturday to Monday. Visit the Anti-Corruption Commission and discover how we are.
Alright. So one of the things I've learned this week is that there is a competition between quality and speed. So let's assume you are recruiting somebody for employment and you are to choose the person who brings speed and the person who brings quality. What would you choose? Which one would you pick? Which one would you offer a job? Would it be the one who has speed, or would you get the one who gives you quality? This is a lesson I have learned the hard way, but I've learned it this week. So think about it. Let's go to this stand. So there's this stand that I visited, and it was very interesting. Just see what they have.
So she told me to find.
These topsoils are so quality, man. They gave me a lot of ideas. Let's get back to the show. So, what would you choose? Would it be quality or would it be speed? So over the years, I've come to learn that I am really the kind of perfectionist. I am a person who takes so much time to perfect something, and I spend so much time trying to get the best quality out of something. But with that time that I take to do that, I lose so many opportunities thinking that I am perfecting something, and those opportunities are swallowed up by the people who have speed, who capture those opportunities. So food first, I saw this joint and I chose some chicken. So I had some chicken and shima and vegetables. Shima is a ugali. So I had some chicken and shima. Where are the veggies? Where are the veggies? Where are the veggies? Where are the veggies? So there they are. There. Yeah, there. So let me eat now. Let me eat. So as I eat, let's continue. So what I've come to learn is that it is better to put out something as many times and get as much feedback as you can so that you keep modifying it and improving it than holding on to one thing and try and perfect the output of that one thing. Out there in the market, and I think one of the examples is, I think, Instagram. Instagram, initially it was called Bourbon. And Bourbon was a complicated app and it had a lot, and the manufacturers realized people only share photos. So they went back and they just made an app that puts out photos, and that is how Instagram was born. And it is not that it didn't have flaws, but over time they have perfected it. So you can imagine if they went back and started modifying it and perfecting it, somebody else might have come back with already something better. All right, let's jump into day 2. Day 2 was all vibes and heading out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the welcoming committee. So right into the stadium. So in the arena, there's some activities which actually pull a lot of crowds because they do a really good show. So for a start, there are these bikers who are going over the ramp and landing on the other side. And then after the bikers, there was the military who showcase some well choreographed stuff that they do. And then after that, there was a football match, which was for the ladies. So as you enjoy the view, as you enjoy the goings on the field, I will close up the African timer story. So I'll give you part 3. And this is the explanation that I was given behind it. Before I explain it, I'll first mention that I think I mentioned it in the first part of the story, that whenever I get into a vehicle, I think the first thing I normally notice, apart from the cleanliness of the car, is the time on the dashboard. So in Ethiopia, the the vehicles there, the dashboard, I would keep noticing that the hour was off. Most of the time, because most of the, especially the taxis, they were the ladders. Right now, they have some newer cars. Actually, they have a good arrangement where they get zero mileage arrangement, and they get very new cars which are assembled within the country. But there are these ladder cars, are those old cars, which I think, if I remember when you were a kid and you were being told to draw a car, you would draw a box kind of thing with two round, sitting on two round things, which you would call the wheels. And apparently these ladders looked exactly like that. So I used to think that they probably have a problem adjusting the time. So every time I would notice and tell myself, okay, the time is wrong, because maybe when it came, there is no even mechanism, because the dashboard doesn't even have a radio. They only know how to cover it very well. There's a steering wheel, and then there is the gear stick, nothing else, or the gear lever. Some call it like that. So for a long time, I kept thinking that is the reason the time looks bad, only to later realize actually the time was correct. I was the one with my own time in my head. So one day I asked one of my colleagues, how comes the time here looks off? Like the time is completely off. And I gave him the stories. I gave him instances that I've communicated with somebody about time. And every time they keep mentioning Ethiopia time, English time, or America time. So I asked him, what's the difference with all this? Because I feel like I'm conflicting with locals in regards to time. So he explained to me very well, and he told me, first he asked me, how did your grandfathers and great-grandfathers and grandmothers, how did they keep time? How did they reference to time? So he told me, when we never used to have a clock and when we never used to have a watch, we used to use the sun. So our traditional, or our great grandparents never had a clock. Coincidentally, Ethiopia was not colonized. The Italians tried to attack them, and they tried to colonize them, but they were up to the task and they fought their way out of it. And Ethiopia is one of the countries that was never colonized. So they also boast that they had very minimal influence from the West or from the Western countries. So with that, they kept their traditions. And one of the traditions, obviously, is what? Is time. So he told me our great-grandparents would reference to time. Remember, this is subjective. I don't know the proof out of it, but he told me, first of all, our great-grandparents would wake up, and I remember even my grandma used to wake up exactly at sunrise. She would wake up sometimes even at 5 a.m. or at 6. But according to this guy, time would be referenced based on the time the sun came out or when the sun went down. So when the sun comes out and 1 hour moves, that is called 1 hour since the sun came out, meaning 7 a.m. should actually be 1, because it is 1 hour since the sun came out or the day broke. Same for the second hour, the third hour. So you need to continue counting time from 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning midday is not 12. Midday is 6, because it is 6 hours since the sun came out. So back to my guy, to my first taxi guy.
when I told him to come at 8, I actually meant to him that he needs to come at 8:30, which is 8 hours after the sun came out. So when I told him to come at 8, he counted the 8 hours and he came at 8:30, which was my 2:30 p.m. So to him, I should have told him to come at 2:30. He would have counted 2 hours, 30 minutes, and then came to pick me up. Same to the Mimo Club story. When the guy told me the club opens at 4, he meant 4 hours since the sun went down. So 10 a.m. should actually be 4 because it is 4 hours. And this took me back to our Swahili time reference in Kenya. I know in Tanzania, some regions, they do it differently. They pick the English time and then they translate the number direct. So in Tanzania, if it is 12, no, for example, if it is 7, they call it Saba, and Saba is the Swahili word for 7. So they will tell you that Saa Saba. So Sa is time. So if you say Saa Saba, you're trying to say at 7. So for them, they don't translate it. But in Kenya and in most mother tongues, and also from the mother tongue where I am born from, we actually say our time based on that logic this guy gave me. It's only that I have never reasoned like that. So we normally, for example, if it is a lunchtime at 1 p.m. in Swahili we say it Saa Saba, and Saba is 7. So 1 p.m. in Swahili, Saba, which is 7 hours since the sun came out. And in my mother tongue, it is the same. We say it, Da Mowaja. Mowaja is 7. So technically, the locals in Zambia, not in Zambia, the locals in Ethiopia reference to time using the same background that I have where I was born. So when this guy highlighted that to me and explained it to me so well, he just caught me like flat out. Like I was really amazed that is the logic behind it. And eventually after that, I started, and he told me, whenever you speak to an Ethiopian and you need to reference to time, make sure you clarify it is Ethiopian time or American time. When you say that, they will know how to apportion it. But if you don't differentiate it, then they will reason in Ethiopian time, which is based on the time the sun came out. I know maybe practically it is not the reasoning, they use when they wake up in the morning, but it is how they've gotten used to time, to referencing time. It is like me, in Swahili, I just know 1 p.m. is Saa Saba, and Saba is actually 7 hours, and it is 7 hours since the sun came out or the day broke. So this guy finished by telling me, now you know why they say don't come at the African time, or don't be an African timer. People think African timer means getting late with, 1 hour, 20, like they try to mean that Africans don't know to be exact on time. I think Africans are exact on time. I think the Ethiopian was exact on time. It's only that the English time does not map directly to the African time. I know Africans are different, the locations regions are different and people reference to time differently. That one I agree. But again, in this perspective and from my eyes to the world, I came to learn African timing is actually an African using the time attributes that were used traditionally when there was no clock. So the person telling you don't come at the African time, they're trying to mean, please reference the English or the American clock. That is the clock we are using. If you reference to your own clock, you will come basically at your own time, which I am not referencing to. What a good lesson to have learned. So don't be an African timer. No, I think we can actually be African timers. People just need to reference to a common clock or a common reference that they are using, and everybody will be on time. Because I also believe if you go to Asia, if you go to, other communities, you'll get a different reference to time, to dates, to seasons, and all that. So it means you need to agree with their reference, and especially if you travel to that community, you need to work with that community. You need to conform so that you're able to communicate. The same way I was saying about speaking English and being able to talk English properly to some people. It means if you go to some place where your good organized English will not help you, you need to conform, you need to learn the other language, you need to find a way to communicate. So it means wherever you go, if you move and you go where people are using American time, you reference your African time, you'll be using your African time. And with that, I think we are done with that story. We are closed. So in the next episode, I will be giving another story. I think that one will be more interesting and catchy. So let's meet in the next one. Enjoy the football match. Later, guys.
a 3, a 4, a